Good afternoon on what is a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Friday, 28th of October. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to unbox. So, this one is sent by Macmillan, so I know that this is the latest from Osprey Books. And these, indeed it is, got two publications in there. So I'm going to pull out the first one which will be completely unfamiliar to me. And this is Hard City, Noir Roleplaying, by Nathan Russell. Trouble around every corner, a secret on every lip, a gun in every pocket. Danger is never far away in Hard City. Two-bit thugs, hard-nosed gumshoes, intrepid reporters and femme fatales, all doing what they must to survive in the hard city. I wrote at the start, my mouth tasting like an old glove and my head pounding from the events of the previous evening, though I wasn't sure if it was the beating from Benny's boys or the half bottle of whiskey that had done most of the damage. Hard City is a role-playing game of mystery and hardboard action in a city that never sleeps. Character creation is swift and simple, generating competent yet flawed individuals and focusing on what sets them apart as they walk the fine line between right and wrong. Fast action resolution places the emphasis on the momentum of the plot, while the sandbox setting provides evocative hooks for adventures, fight crooks, rescue the innocent, thwart blackmail plots for start, or start them, or uncover corruption in the mayor's office. So classic kind of film noir setup, or sort of like the pulp detective kind of stories from sort of like the 30s, 40s and 50s. And this is a genre which it's been released things like Noir, which is for a game like for Powered by the Apocalypse, which I looked at recently, and also to a certain extent by Osprey Games themselves, with a crescendo of violence. But that's a dystopian noir book because it's set in the New York of 2093. So this is their new entry into another genre. So we look inside, and what we have. So if I took it start there. So contents nice and clear. So yeah, easy and easy to read. Let's see whether it's just there isn't an index, which is a little worrying, but we've got this dark artwork. I think that's really suitable for the genre and the period. And it's welcome to the city and explains what noir is, talking about the mood, cynical heroes, dangerous dames and devious dilettantes, the living city, and so on. And then it's got a list of inspirations from films, television and novels. So the classics are here, going to be The Big Sleep, Maltese Falcon of course, Dragnet, Perry Mason, Mike Hammer, that sort of thing for TV. Novels, Postman Always Rings Twice, Dashiell Hammett, The Maltese Falcon and so on. And these are all terrific kind of stories and films and TV to watch, basically, if you like the genre. So when we get to the basics, explaining what the rules are, again with this really dark, really suitable artwork, exploration of what you do and how you do it, and it's talking about the fiction first, and the storytelling is going to take place, emphasis over necessarily over the rules, playing in the moment, and also playing with tags, playing safely, all good advice. Before we get into the characters, and there we've got the classic femme fatale kind of pose, as we kind of saw on the back. And what I do like about it is the use of the washed out colour on the back. You've got that sort of the image of the red bleeding into the black and white. And so the characters themselves, basically starts off with asking, who are you? And then building it through trademarks, essentially, what you're recognised for, but basically then building through a past. So you've got academic, criminal, button man, drifter, and so on. Then we move on to what they are in the present. So that can be defender, enforcer, charmer, investigator. And you go halfway through, it gets us, hey, where's my skill list? This is a game without skills, presumably. And what it says is, Hard City does not have a definitive list of traits or defined explanation of what each does. They are prompts to inspire action. So it's really kind of a storytelling game where, you know, there's a bit of flexibility built in by design. So, and intent. So we talk about perks such as badge or everyman, famous, heir to a fortune, married to the mob, prize fighter, and the like. You know, knife fighter, sorry, and so on. And then we add edges. To trademark traits, flaws, and tags, and so on. We'll talk about these before we get into flaws, because there is in the film noir genre, there is no such thing as the perfect hero, and we've got a long list there. And opposite that, we've got a decanter and some cut glasses of booze. Drives and ties, what pushes people to act, and then you round it out with name tables. So I'm really looking forward to digging into this. So what I like next, what I'm really quite surprised, because they don't always, not every role-playing game does this, but really should, is character creation sample, example, right from the start, fill up character sheet. So, you know, you've read the rules, now you get essentially what's happening to this point is, here's how we're going to tell you how to do it. And then we get to, here's how we show you how to do it. And then switch over to the rules, getting into trouble. So on, and then it's talking, basically going through the basics of the rules, and then we're talking about consequences. So we've got soft and hard consequences from the outcomes of situations, which is throwing in boons and botches, just things going well and going right, adding conditions, and facing up to injuries, and their severity, and of course dealing with the big sleep or death. And there's nice touches in it. It's just sort of like where we just got to go combination. There's a note. It doesn't mean anything. It's just literally just sort of like a note. It's almost like a clue, scattered healing, scattered sort of like, you know, around you know, a crime scene or something like that. And then the importance of moxie, which is what you're going to be using presumably to power a lot of your abilities to really push on through when it comes down to you've got moxie, you know, or chutzpah. And then we get to hitting the mean streets. So cases and scenes. This is building up to you know, crimes and locations and that sort of thing. Turns, taking actions, distance of movement, that sort of thing. And there's options in here. So, for example, if we have turns, you've got, you know, quick actions, changing actions, getting the drop, and so on. But you've got options in there for cinematic turn order, so you can change it. Handle investigations and chases. Interrogations and arguing. We've got a nice shot of an office, don't know whether that's a PI's office or a cop's office, something like that. Shooting and fighting. And what's really great about this, what I do like about this, is these are just covered in a page each. You know, nothing too long, nothing too, you know, too complex. Takedowns, avoiding injury, that's going to be important. And then we get into downtime, what you're doing in between cases, whether that's playing the piano. Here we're having experience as well, growing from the experience, and then we get into describing the city itself. A little history, life in 46. So this is definitely post-war. So whilst talking Maltese Falcon is pre-war, you know, you're talking about something like Black Dahlia for post-war, and then late war for something like Big Sleep. You know, with sort of like either versions really. Okay, and then we get we're dealing with aspects of the city, so getting around, law and order, crime and criminals, because they're going to play a really big part. They're really quite prevalent in sort of like the film noir genre, and also in the city at the time. You know, if you take the archetypal city where this is kind of set, Maltese Falcon is San Francisco, but a lot of the noir stories are really set places like Los Angeles. You know, if you look, for example, Big Sleep, and so on. So there we go. And we've got locations and so on. You know, like the waterfront, Anvil City, Rutledge Park, and then beyond the city limits. And then we get into cases and handling investigations. Planning the perfect crime, keeping it simple, building cases, and this is all advice for the Game Master. Even got a handy sort of example that the Game Master can use there. How to reveal the clues, and then next subgenre, capers. You know, that's heists and that sort of thing. You know, so you can literally turn that around, whether you're actually the criminals or you're walking that side of the line doing a robbery, or you know you have to do you have to do a heist in order to expose the bad guys, expose the corruption, or get the evidence, that sort of thing. And we have a case generator. And then we're talking about MacGuffins, and of course we have the ultimate MacGuffin illustrated. Of course, I bought my own MacGuffin. And then Game Master advice. And how to run the game. So, you know, bring the world to life, be a fan, ask questions, do what the fiction demands. Getting the most out of scenes, so lots of, you know, good advice here. How to master master investigations. So getting the most out of scenes covers enter late, exit early, give the player something to do, think cinematically, someone enters with a gun. Always back to that kind of thing. If things get boring, have some goons break in or torpedoes break in with guns, not necessarily blazing. Mastering combat and checks, so basically, you know, going back over the rules, making them, you know, how to use them, and then we get on to threats. So, you know, we've got a whole load of example threats here. So, you know, we've got actors, clerks, domestic staff, hoodlums, a raging storm, vehicle assembly line. So not just, so cinematically you are thinking not just plate people, you know, we're talking environments as well, to organisations like the Mayor's Office, and then we get into an actual case, engagement with death. And it's got its own clues. So you've got a beginning case in here for Fallout, so that's a second case. So really nicely appointed, in at the deep end, multiple, so three cases. We do have a glossary at the end. That's always useful. Even if you haven't got an index, a glossary is really good. Character sheet, of course. There we go. That's what it looks like. So yeah, that's Hard City at Noir Roleplaying from Osprey Games. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to doing a review of this. I really do enjoy reviewing books from Osprey Games because they tend to be, they've done quite a few titles, all of which are quite different to what you normally see, and this is one of them. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please click on the like button down below, and of course if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.